American Telephone and Telegraph is asking for lower long-distance rates next year with FCC approval. AT&T wants to cut the rates by $1.75 billion. That works out to 10 to 15% cuts for the average user. And that should offset some of the local telephone rate increases expected when AT&T is broken up next year. America is raising a generation of teenage electronics junkies. Some of them are hackers. They do it just for fun, but others are crooks. They're breaking into and entering someone else's computer. Mike Jensen tonight explains on how easily all of this is done.
They're called computer hackers, and the experts say there are thousands of them, mostly teenagers with home computers. First they play video games, then they talk to one another on their computers. Then, out of a sense of adventure or challenge, some of them go big time. From their own homes, they break into the huge mainframe computers of companies, banks, hospitals, government agencies. The potential for damage is enormous. Hackers recently broke into a computer at the Sloan-Kettering Cancer Center in New York. They penetrated the computer at the government's nuclear weapons laboratory at Los Alamos. They broke into a thoroughbred listing service in Kentucky. That company had to shut down its computer and says it lost $100,000. And those are only the hackers. There are also crooks. To give him an edge on Wall Street, a former employee of the Federal Reserve Board recently stole secret information on the nation's money supply. A Virginia man allegedly used other people's credit cards, including the actress Linda Blair's, to order $50,000 worth of merchandise after breaking into the computer of an Atlanta credit bureau. A computer consultant electronically transferred to his own Swiss bank account $10 million from a California bank. He was caught and spent 3 years in jail. Experts say most of the computer crooks get caught. It's the hackers, the youngsters who are rummaging around almost at will, who most worry the authorities. Computer hackers often start the process by contacting an electronic bulletin board used by hackers to exchange information and messages. Some boards list secret codes of large commercial computers. Next step, a company called GTE Telenet provides legal access to those big computers. Its switching system enables one computer to talk to another. Then it's right into the computer of a Los Angeles bank. Using a Telenet line and the secret password, the hacker dials up a computer such as the one at Security Pacific National Bank. Just that easily, he has penetrated the bank's computer. Neal PATRICK of Milwaukee actually did that.
And just by looking around, we stumbled on that program that was set up specifically for world loans and things of that nature.
What was your feeling when you penetrated the computer? What did you think?
It was in some ways shocking about how easy it was able to be accessed.
Neal and his friends, who are members of an Explorer Scout troop that is advised by IBM on how to use computers, are being investigated by the FBI. Some experts say the Milwaukee hackers, led by Neal, are not all that unusual. Michael Schrag, a Washington Post reporter, says hacking goes on all over the place.
The sort of stuff that I did when I was in school was we would change lesson plans. We'd go into the computer and change the answers to tests or pop quizzes, which I thought was a prank, and you know, it's what you do when you're in college. And maybe that's what these kids were thinking. It's what you do if you have the capacity to go into these systems, say, Kilroy was here, you know, we were here, nya, 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 nya.
Computer consultant Don Parker doesn't think it's funny or legal.
And that it is not socially acceptable, and in fact a criminal activity, to enter someone else's computer system. The same way that it is not socially acceptable for you or I to walk into someone else's private office or home and look around in that home.
But the nation's laws on computer crime are vague. There is no federal law against penetrating someone's computer. Only a handful of states have such laws, and they apply only within their own boundaries, not to someone using long-distance lines to penetrate a computer in another state. So the experts say that until the law catches up, the answer lies in more secure computers, scrambling the input and output, taking computers off public telephone circuits, keeping passwords secret, and teaching hackers that no matter what the law says, breaking and entering electronically is simply not right. Mike Jensen, NBC News.
Well, they don't raise 12-meter yachts by computer yet, and Australia, too, still is alive and in the America's Cup yacht race. She beat the American entry Liberty this afternoon, so Liberty's margin now is 3-2 in this best-of-7 series.
Making new ideas grow and thrive is something Americans